So now that AI is seemingly all around us, everybody is talking about AI, I wanted to have a little bit of fun and build a cool app that helps you save money. And so the idea for this app is that it's going to analyze your spending, where you spend your money, different categories, different items, different amount, and give you some suggestions as to how you can save some money and have some more money left over. I thought this would be a fun app to build, and I was actually very, very surprised by the results. Now, before we begin, as always, all the apps that I'm going to be demonstrating and building in today's video are going to be available from my Patreon page, and you're going to find a link to it in the description below. Now, the idea for the app was going to be very, very simple. This is going to be an app where a user can enter things that they spend their money on, or maybe they can import that data and then they're going to click a button and the system is going to analyze their expenses and provide some suggestions. And also the user can follow up, ask more questions, and get more suggestions and advice. Now, the first thing that I did was I went over to ChatGPT and I asked it to create 30 random expenses, okay, with these specific fields. So we have category, we have place, we have amount spent, and we have a date. And it actually generated very cool random expenses. So we have things like Pizza Hut, Netflix, Zara, we have transportation, we have groceries at Safeway, Starbucks, theme parks, Gap, things like that. As soon as I had this information, and this information was actually generated in a CSV file, I went ahead and imported this data into my Firebase Firestore collection. So this is my Firebase dashboard, and I have a collection called expenses. You can ignore all the other collections. They have nothing to do with this specific app. But if you look in expenses, you will see that I have 30 or so documents that correspond to each expense. So here we have amount spent $119, clothing at Macy's. This is groceries, Safeway, $72, entertainment, $99, things like that. So these are all the items that were generated by ChatGPT. Now, as soon as I had this data, I began building the app. And so first, let me show you the app. Let's go ahead and run the app. Let me show you how it works. And then we're going to jump back into Flutterflow and I will show you exactly how I built this very, very cool, in my opinion, app. All right, so here I am inside of Flutterflow. I'm going to go ahead and start a test environment. I already have one. We're going to reload this. All right, so here's the app. And as you can see, what's cool about it is that you can view all the things that you spent your money on. And what's nice about it is that it's categorized by categories. Okay, so here we have all of clothing. We have all of groceries, we have entertainment, we have food, transportation, and that's it. So all in all, around 30 items here that we see. And you can easily add a new item if you wish by clicking that button and filling out these fields here. But the star of the show is this AI Analyze button. Okay, so once you click this button, what happens is you are redirected to another screen. And this is kind of a chat screen because you can chat with this AI virtual assistant. So right now it knows all about my expenses. So all I need to do is ask it a question. So for instance, I can say something like, what do you think? Okay, I can send that. We see the message here and we're waiting for the response. All right, so it came back with some thoughts based on these expenses. There are a few tips I can offer to help save you money. Consider buying groceries in bulk. Limit eating out and buying fast food. Look for sales and discounts. Use public transportation whenever possible. Set a budget and stick to it. So very, very cool tips, but they are rather general. So let's see if it can give us more specific advice. Give me more specific tips. Okay, let's see if that helps. All right, so it's back with some more tips. Sure, here's some more specific tips based on your expenses. For clothing expenses, try to buy clothes during the end of season sales. Try to plan your grocery shopping around sales and coupons. For entertainment expenses, try to find free or low cost events. For transportation expenses, use a bike or walk instead of driving. Very, very cool. Consider packing. So lots of advice. Still rather general, but getting more specific. So I can maybe ask it something like this. Be more specific. Where? Tell me where I overspent. All right, there we go. And this is the results. Looking at your expenses, there are a few areas where you may have overspent. Clothing. In the past month, you spent a total of $397 on clothing from several different retailers. Entertainment, you spent a total of $187 on entertainment in the past month, including a theme park, music streaming, Netflix, and a museum. Food, in the past month, you spent a total of $79, etc., etc. So it's giving us a more and more specific advice, and this is actually very, very cool. Which category of my expenses should I focus on first? Okay. Let's see what it says. All right, so it says it's up to you to decide which category to focus on first. Based on your recent expenses, it looks like you spend the most amount of money on groceries, followed by entertainment and clothing. Therefore, you might consider starting with grocery category, as there are often opportunities to save money. So very, very cool. And, I can keep going. I can ask it various questions. I can, ask it to, think about various things. And there are some ways that you can do actually to make it work in different ways. And this is something I'm going to be touching up a little bit later in the video. But now that you've seen the app, let's go ahead back into Flutterflow and let me show you exactly how I build this app so you can do the same thing, or maybe build something like this, or maybe build something similar. All right, so here we are back inside of Flutterflow. And as always, let's get started with our data sources. Okay, so if I come back here, if I come into my Firestore, you see I have expenses here. Okay, and this is my expenses. And this is a link to my expenses in Firebase Firestore. Okay, so nothing new here. This is my schema here. That way Flutterflow knows how to kind of work with it. The next thing I want to talk about are the API calls. So here in my API calls section, I only have one API call, and this is ChatGPT using their recently unveiled API. And so what I'm doing here is I'm setting it up. So this right here is my token. You can't use this. And what you have to do is get your own token. You can just Google for ChatGPT token. You're going to be redirected to a page and you can create your own token. Now here I'm using variables, and this is my messages. Okay, so this is going to be a string that I am formatting and sending in. And the body is basically this. So I'm using the 3.5 turbo model, and I'm just using the messages and sending my messages. Okay. Now, if we go into response and test right here, this is the way I format my response. I have my test response for testing, but the most important thing here is that you want to be catching the response right here. So if you run this response, right? Let's say we do a test API call, okay? And we get back a response. And so you want to head over to choices, message, and content. And that way you can just capture the response right here in your app. All right, so now that we covered the databases and the APIs, let's talk about the app. Okay, so the star of the show is this page here called list expenses. And the way this page works is what I'm doing is I have a page and I have a list view, and then I have another list view inside. And the reason I'm doing that is I want to group things. So I first have groups of categories, and then inside each group, I have the expenses for that specific category. And the first thing I need to do is I need to grab all the expenses. Okay, we need to have that data, right? And then I go into my list view. This is list view top. And what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing the list of expenses, grabbing their categories, and filtering all the duplicates out. So I only want uniques. And the way I'm doing it is via a custom function here, right? So I have this custom function here, and it's a one line. It accepts my categories, which is a list of strings. I'm converting it to a set, and I'm converting it back to a list. When I convert anything into a set, like a list into a set, it removes the duplicates. But I need to convert back to a list because that's what, the system expects. So I take my list, convert to a set, and convert back to a list. And then I return a list of strings, which are essentially the categories that with all the duplicates removed. So only the unique list of categories. Now, in order to pass the arguments here, I can't just pass a list of categories because I don't have a list of categories. I have a list of documents. And so here, what we need to do is we need to take our list of documents and we need to map items. So you can click on map list items, and then you can just pick the item, the field that you want to map them by. I'm doing categories. So I do confirm, confirm. And as a result, instead of passing a list of documents, I'm passing a list of categories, and I get back a unique list of categories. And then what I'm doing is I am basically getting a list of those categories, right? And the reason I need to do that is because down here I have a real backend query, and this time I'm actually querying my expenses, but I'm filtering by that specific category at the top level, and that way I can have grouping. Okay, so this is my inner list view, not the outer list view, the inner list view, and essentially I'm doing category equal to that top level category, and that way I can list my categories, and then I can list the individual items inside of them. Okay. So that's what I'm doing right here. And I can also order the items here if I want to do that as well. And here at the top level, I'm displaying the category. And inside, I'm displaying different items, right? So I have the place, I have the category, I also have the amount, things like that. This is all self-explanatory. The image, I'm not doing anything with the image because I don't have the image to display. So I'm just displaying some random image here of sneakers. Obviously, in your production app, you want to display a real image here. And that's how you display grouped expenses. I also have this add button that displays a bottom sheet using this component right here that allows people to add expenses. But really, the star of the show is this button here called AI Analyze. And when you click on this button, you're going to have different flows. You're going to have different actions. The first action is that we are going to create a new chat. Okay, so remember, I have a chat, and then inside the chat, I have different messages, right? So this is kind of how it looks. I have the chats here, and inside I have different messages. Okay, and so what we're doing is we're creating a brand new chat associated to that user because we are using authentication, and when we log in, you can only see the chats that are associated to you. So we are saving the timestamp, last message, UID, and the user, and we're getting back a new chat reference. Once we do that, we start sending a message. Once we created a chat, we need to send an initial message. And in this initial message, we are going to tell ChatGPT what we wanted to do. So in this case, we're basically telling it that it is our personal expense advisor or something like that, and we send all the expenses. And so we have this initial message, and I'm using a custom function called get expenses. And this function, what it's doing is it takes all the expenses, right? Because we have the query, and it generates a piece of text. Okay, so it takes all the expenses. So it takes the category for each expense, the place, the amount spent, and the date, and it creates a big string out of that, right? I'm going to show you how it looks like in a second. But another important thing here is this prompt, right? So I'm basically telling it, you're my personal budget advisor. I'm going to be asking you for money saving tips when it comes to spending. Here are my recent expenses, and then I give it all the expenses. So this is very, very important. And this is the first message we send. It's a system message, and this kind of sets the pace. It tells the bot what we expect and what we want it to do, and that guarantees that it's going to perform better. And so in this part, if you wanted to kind of behave a little bit different, you can change this initial prompt to something else. You can change it, you can add to it, you can remove to it. But I found through some testing that this works the best. This is the most optimal prompt for this specific application. And so we send this message, and after that, we navigate to that newly created chat page. And so when we navigate to it, it's empty because it got the message, but we haven't given it any further instructions yet. And so we are redirected to a messages screen, and it says here, your financial assistant. And then what it's doing is it's displaying messages. Okay, so this list view here does a query on messages, right? So we're doing a backend query on messages from that chat ref that was just created. And then we are conditionally displaying the messages based on who owns that message, who sent that message. So if I send that message, it's going to be on the right-hand side, right? So this is row me. And if you come over here, you see that it's the alignment is right side alignment. On the other hand, if it's the bot sending, it's going to be on the left-hand side. You can't see it because it's hidden behind these messages, okay? At the bottom, we have this container with this enter message and a button. And so this enter message tracks the message that we're sending. Now, this button here has a bunch of flows, but essentially what it's doing is it's creating a new message document and taking all the messages that were sent previously and appending our new message and sending all of that to ChatGPT. Because the way ChatGPT works is that you can't just send a new message. You have to send the previous messages so that it understands the context. And that is really the power of ChatGPT, understanding the context. And this is kind of what's happening here. So we're doing ChatGPT API call, but we are also sending all the other messages here. And then we're getting back the response, and we need to save the response, update last message, and then clear text fields. So all fairly standard behavior. Now, if we go into my database, I can show you the chat that we had just now. Okay, so if we come to messages, we had an exchange, right? So one message was sent by the bot to me. Another message was sent by me to the bot. So there's a bunch of messages. But if we go to one of the first ones, so if we go up here, so that right there is the initial message. And we're saying, you're my personal budget advisor. I'm going to be asking you for money saving tips. When it comes to spending, here are my recent expenses. And that's exactly what I sent. I basically took all the expenses in the database and I formatted that as a JSON string. And it understands JSON. And as a result, it was able to parse all of those messages and really understand what they mean and was able to understand how to help me in return. And so here we have all the messages here. And every time we send a new message, the system takes all the previous messages, appends our new message to it, and fires it off to ChatGPT. And so this app is really two parts, right? You have the first part that displays all the expenses. We are grouping them. We can also add new expenses. And the second part of the app is where we are clicking the button and we are interfacing with ChatGPT. And obviously you can take it much further. You can change the prompt. You can change some of the things that you're sending to the system. You can change the way you're displaying the results. It's really, really up to you how you want to change it. And in fact, if that's what you're planning on doing, if you're planning to build a similar app, or maybe an exact app, or maybe an app that kind of works like this with different data, different screens, then you definitely want to clone this app. And that way you have a head start on building the app that you want to build. And you can easily do that by joining my amazing Patreon community. Because not only will you have access to all the Flutterflow apps that I built on this channel, you'll also get access to extra content such as Q&As, live streams, behind the scenes content, as well as our Patreon exclusive mastermind series, where I do a deep dive on a specific topic that the community is struggling with. And so what happens is the community votes on a specific topic, and I make an in-depth video on this specific topic for our amazing Patreon community. Plus, when you join our amazing Patreon community, you're going to be supporting this channel and supporting my work, and that is greatly, greatly appreciated. And so if that sounds like something you might be interested in, then I definitely urge you to check out the community via a link in the description and consider becoming a member. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely be sure to check out the video in the corner of your screen. That is another video where I built an amazing AI app that you might like as well.